Attributes. Unity has a bunch of attributes that most of developers completely ignore, and they can seriously help you with your project. Hello, this is Dead Eye Studio, and today I want to show you some attributes every game developer should know. Starting with the layout attributes, it can help you turn your inspector from this to this. First is header. Header help you to add header over some fields in the inspector, which can be so useful to keep your fields in categories. The second one is space, which sounds obvious, it adds space between your fields. The third one, tooltip. Tooltip add a message over a field when you hover on it in the inspector. It can be useful if you work with a team or you simply forget what is this field for. And the last one, inspector name. If you wanna use a different name for your field in the inspector, simply just add this attribute and choose whatever name you want. For part 2 we have field constraint attributes. First one is range. For example, if you have a float and you wanna keep the value between a minimum and maximum value, you add a range attribute, and in the inspector it will turn to a slider between these two values. The second attribute is many, which is used to set the minimum allowed value you can set in the inspector. This one can save you a ton of errors, like accidentally set the player max health to 0. The third attribute is multi-line. If you have a string and you want to set how many lines will appear in the inspector for the text box, just add this attribute. And last attribute is text area. Text area can be more flexible. You can control the minimum and maximum lines for a string text box in the inspector. And for part 3 we have color and gradient attributes. First one we have color usage. Color usage can turn your default colors to HDR colors, and you can also enable or disable alpha. The second attribute is gradient usage. Same as color usage, if you wanna use HDR colors for a gradient, you use this attribute. And for part 4 we have serialization attributes. The first one is SerializeField. This is the most famous attribute in Unity. You can use it to show any private field in Unity Inspector. On the other side we have hide in Inspector. If you wanna keep one of your fields public but you don't wanna see it in Inspector, just add this attribute. Last attribute is serializable. If you have a class you use it as a data container and you wanna show it in another class in Inspector, or you wanna make a list of this class, add this attribute over your class and you will be able to see it in the inspector. For the last part of this video we have editor behavior attributes. First attribute we have execute always. You add this attribute over your class and it will keep running even if the play mode is off. Second attribute is add component menu. You use this one if you want to organize your scripts in another component folder. Last one is require component. If your script depends on other components, add this attribute over your script and these other components will be added automatically when you add your script to a new game object. A bonus attribute is context menu. If you want to test a function without adding a debugging UI, just add this attribute and you will be able to call this function from the inspector. That's it for this video. If you have any question or any video idea you want me to make, just leave me a comment.